Millions of people walk right past a fortune every single weekend, completely unaware of the hidden value sitting on dusty shelves. You might see a pile of discarded electronics at a local garage sale and think of it as obsolete junk. But what if that same pile represents a highly profitable, untapped revenue stream? Your path to financial independence does not always require massive upfront capital or a revolutionary tech startup. Sometimes it just requires a different set of eyes. Transforming your financial reality starts with a fundamental shift from consumer to opportunist. We uncover these opportunities by mastering arbitrage, which simply means buying an asset in one market at a low price and selling it in another market at a higher price to capture the difference. This is the cornerstone of intelligent wealth building. Instead of accepting retail prices, you hunt for inefficiencies where the general public fundamentally misprices an item due to ignorance or inconvenience. Let's analyze how this plays out in the real world by looking at a specific journey. Sarah was a typical professional looking to supplement her income when she noticed a glaring gap at her local thrift store. Bins were overflowing with forgotten technology, specifically vintage gaming consoles from the 1980s and 90s. The store priced them as obsolete toys, usually slapping a $3 sticker on systems that lacked power cords or controllers. The broader nostalgia economy was booming simultaneously, creating a massive divergence in perceived worth. According to recent market analysis from retro gaming valuation guides, the industry has seen a 14.5% year-over-year increase in vintage hardware demand. Collectors and elder millennials are willing to pay premium prices to recapture their childhood memories. The local thrift store saw electronic waste, but the global internet saw highly coveted collector pieces. That massive spread between local availability and global demand is exactly where life-changing side hustles are born. Acting on this gap requires more than just observation. It demands a willingness to solve problems that others avoid. The initial hurdle for anyone attempting this model is the condition of the inventory. Most of these systems were untested, dirty, or completely non-functional. The average person walks away from a broken Super Nintendo because they see a headache, leaving that potential profit sitting right there on the folding table. But embracing that headache is exactly how you protect your downside. By targeting broken or untested units, your initial capital outlay remains incredibly low, often just single digits. If a $5 console turns out to be irreparably fried, your loss is the price of a cup of coffee. You are risking pennies to learn a system, completely avoiding the catastrophic debt that ruins many traditional small business attempts. That asymmetric risk profile paved the way for a remarkable transformation. Sarah took her first dusty $5 find, cleaned the cartridge pins with rubbing alcohol, and successfully powered it on. She immediately sold it online for $60. That single transaction represents a massive ROI, or return on investment, which is the ratio of net profit to the cost of the investment. A 1,100% return proves the model works. One lucky find is a great weekend, but systematizing the hunt builds an empire. To scale this operation, the focus must shift from random luck to calculated acquisition routes. Mapping out estate sales, setting up alerts on local classified apps, and building relationships with flea market vendors creates a consistent funnel of raw materials. You are essentially building a localized supply chain for undervalued assets. As the volume of inventory increases, a new bottleneck emerges that requires a specialized skill set. You cannot rely solely on finding perfectly working units in the wild. Sarah realized that to truly maximize her profit margins, she needed to learn basic electronics repair. Armed with nothing but free video tutorials and a $15 soldering iron, she began opening up the consoles that others had declared dead. This is where sweat equity directly translates into financial equity. Replacing a blown capacitor or swapping out a laser lens takes an hour of focused effort, but it instantly upgrades an item from a $10 parts-only listing to a $100 refurbished system. You are no longer just flipping items, you are actively adding value to the marketplace. This hands-on refurbishment builds a moat around your business, separating you from lazy competitors. The value added through repair opens up an entirely different tier of buyers. Collectors do not want to gamble on dirty, untested hardware. They want a pristine, plug-and-play experience, and they will gladly pay a premium for peace of mind. By providing a clean, tested, and guaranteed product, you transition from a bargain bin scavenger to a trusted boutique seller. Bridging the gap between a restored product and the final buyer requires leveraging global platforms. Local classifieds limit your customer base to a 50-mile radius, severely depressing the final sale price. eBay reselling acts as the ultimate amplifier, connecting your highly specific vintage electronics with the exact enthusiast looking for them halfway across the world. The platform handles the traffic. Your job is simply to present the item correctly. Crafting the perfect listing is a masterclass in digital salesmanship. High-resolution photography showing the console operating perfectly on a television screen builds instant credibility. Honest, detailed descriptions that note every scratch or replaced component establish trust. By optimizing the title with specific model numbers and canonical gaming terms, you ensure the algorithm places your refurbished console directly in front of buyers with credit cards in hand. The compounding effect of these optimized, global sales is staggering. Over a 2-year period, what started as a weekend hobby hunting for a cheap game evolved into a consistent $50,000 annual income stream for Sarah. That is a full-time salary generated entirely from discarded items that society had written off. It is a testament to the power of combining niche knowledge with relentless execution. Achieving that level of independent revenue fundamentally alters your relationship with money, time, and traditional employment. You stop viewing your corporate paycheck as your only lifeline and start recognizing your own powerful agency in wealth creation. The suffocating anxiety of potential corporate layoffs dramatically diminishes when you know, with absolute certainty, that you can generate cash on demand by simply driving to a local thrift store and applying your specialized, hard-earned knowledge to the shelves. With a robust, active income engine established, the next logical step is capital allocation. You can take the profits generated from active reselling and funnel them into passive income vehicles, which are investments that generate cash flow with minimal daily effort. Buying dividend-paying stocks or low-cap rental properties using arbitrage profits means your side hustle is now buying you long-term financial freedom. Transitioning profits into passive vehicles is essential because active markets are inherently volatile. The demand for specific retro consoles might fluctuate, or platform fees could increase. By diversifying your arbitrage earnings into broader financial instruments, you protect your baseline wealth. You must always acknowledge market volatility and remember that no single hustle is immune to economic shifts. Beyond the personal financial gains, this model taps into a massive macroeconomic trend toward sustainability. The circular economy is rapidly expanding as consumers become more conscious of electronic waste. By rescuing, repairing, and rehoming these devices, you are participating in a highly profitable form of recycling. You are getting paid to solve a genuine environmental problem, making the business model remarkably resilient. Recognizing this intersection of profit and purpose fuels long-term motivation. The thrill of the hunt for undervalued items still drives the daily operation, but the broader impact sustains the vision. You begin to look differently at everything society discards, wondering what other hidden ecosystems exist just beneath the surface of consumer culture. This exact framework applies to countless other niches beyond gaming. Whether it is vintage clothing, specialized auto parts, or discontinued audio equipment, the principles remain identical. You locate the local inefficiency, acquire the asset cheaply, add value through restoration or curation, and leverage a global platform to find the ultimate buyer. The specific product changes, but the arbitrage mechanics are universal. To start your own journey, you must first audit your existing knowledge base. What hobbies, industries, or subcultures do you understand deeply? Your unfair advantage lies in the obscure details you already know. If you can spot a rare camera lens or a valuable first edition book, while others just see old junk, you have found your initial arbitrage vector. Be prepared to invest significant time and physical energy before you see substantial returns. This is not a magic trick or a passive miracle. It requires waking up at dawn on Saturdays to beat the crowds, negotiating confidently with difficult sellers, and spending countless hours cleaning decades of grime off plastic shelves at your kitchen table. Anyone promoting a completely effortless path to wealth is ignoring the fundamental reality of the market. True profit is the direct reward for solving difficult, messy problems that other people simply refuse to tackle. Start incredibly small to test your assumptions without financial jeopardy. Buy one item, clean it, photograph it, sell it. Document every step of the process and calculate your exact profit margin after shipping and platform fees. This micro-experiment validates your niche knowledge and reveals the hidden logistical friction points before you commit serious capital to the venture. Tracking these micro-experiments allows you to optimize your hourly rate. If a console takes 3 hours to repair but only yields a $20 profit, the model is inefficient. But if a simple 15-minute clean yields an $80 margin, you have found your golden goose. Relentless data tracking turns a messy side gig into a precision wealth-building instrument. Ultimately, the greatest asset you build is not the cash in the bank, but the permanent rewiring of your brain. You will never walk through a retail store, a flea market, or even your own garage the same way again. Revealing the hidden value in the world around you becomes a reflex, an instinct that continuously scans for opportunity. Your financial independence is waiting right now in the discarded, the overlooked, and the completely underestimated corners of your local community. By combining the courage to take calculated small-scale risks with the relentless dedication to learn practical, hands-on skills, you can entirely engineer your own economic reality. Step out of the consumer mindset, start hunting for those invisible margins today, and turn the world's everyday inefficiencies into your personal profitable empire.